EarthtonesGirl channel. My name is Denise, and this is Earth Vlog number 59. Hello! To returning viewers, welcome back. To new viewers, there are quite a few of you. Welcome, the biggest, warmest, open arms welcome. I'm so happy that you're here, and I am so happy to be here today to spend a little time with you. It's been 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks since my last episode, and oh my gosh, what a wonderfully busy time. There's good busy and there's bad busy. This has been really, really good busy. First and foremost, the kids are back in school. Peace restored. And it's not, and if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I adore my children. They are my world. I love them more than yarn, and I would give this all up for them in a heartbeat. That said, restless, sort of bored children does start to chew on the ends of your nerves after a while, no matter how patient you try to be. And it's just time. It's just that feel of, and whether they realize it or not, I think everyone starts to feel, or people in my circle, people that I am familiar with, start to feel that need for the return to routine, the return to normalcy. The light's starting to decrease a little bit. It's time for school. It's time to go back to school. We'd been prepared for well over a month. School uniforms were purchased, school supplies were labeled and in backpacks and ready, pretty much waiting at the door. And they've gone back to school. They went back on September 8th. And, leading up to that, it was, just kind of hanging out here, like I said, and prepping. And then September 8th rolled around and they were back in school, and they woke up on their own that morning. We'd been not practicing, but leading up to school. I mean, bedtime sort of, I don't want to say goes completely out the window in the summer, but it kind of does. And we started inching bedtime up a little bit in like 10 to 15 minute increments. So the week leading up to school, everybody was back in bed by 8:30, 8:45. It was just I had an evening again. Oh my gosh. It's just more time. It's just time. I am very introverted. Many makers are introverted, and I recharge my battery by being quiet. I recharge by being alone. And I have a very dear friend who could not be more opposite. And during the height of the lockdown, she was in agony because she couldn't see anyone, be with anyone, interact with anyone. And I think a lot of introverts out there were like, hey, this is easy. We've been practicing for this for years. So, I mean, not that the lockdown was easy. I hope I'm not misunderstood. I'm not making light of it. It's just many introverts were used to that quiet time, used to that being in and being alone. And it just worked. So being with the kids, and last year was such a hybrid for us that, my daughter was here every other day. It's making sure she's okay to go and pick him up or drop him off. And it worked. We had a system, but I'm very happy that we are now back in full time. Our school, we're very, very fortunate to go to a school that we completely trust. The principal's incredible. The protocols are all in place, and the kids feel safe. I feel safe. When they walk in the door, I don't bat an eyelash. I just turn and leave, and I know that they're going to be just fine. So that has been, and I'm grateful for that. I know many parents out there do not have that comfort. There's a lot of unknowns. We're very grateful. We've made some decisions to protect our family, to protect our children, and we feel confident in those decisions. And we're back in school. We're back in school, and they're doing really well. CJ had his first spelling test in second grade and got 100. I'm sorry, I'm just having a proud mama moment. We practice. I do spend so much time with them, and every Wednesday, Thursday of the week, I start to say, oh, if only I could record a podcast episode. And I like to get my episodes out Friday, Saturday, and it doesn't happen because someone needs help with a project, or I was prepping to teach, and we'll talk about that in a bit. There was just something going on, and I just said, you know what, again, guilt-free. It's all good. It's all good. So, so back in school, everybody's doing well. The end of August brought, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I recorded my last episode, I think was the 27th. So the 1 week sock challenge was just about to start. And I'm just glancing down at my notes as always. And the 1 week sock challenge was about to start on the 29th, which was that Sunday. And that ran from Sunday the 29th until September 4th. And it was really, really great, and so many people participated. I was co-hosting with JulieAnn, who is, hi JulieAnn if you're watching, JulieAnn Knitter on Instagram, and she is Twin Stitch Designs. She just launched her brand new website, and she's not asking me to say any of this. I just think she's amazing. She just launched her own website, and she does have patterns available there as well as on Ravelry. And I'm going to talk about one of her patterns in a moment. And actually, I did in the last episode, her DK weight sock pattern. So that ran for the week, and there was a different feel to it. Or I think JulieAnn would agree. Both of us felt that there was a little bit of a shift in it this week, or this time around. This was our third round of it for the year. We're going to be doing it, just in case anyone missed it, or life got in the way and you couldn't participate, don't worry. We're going to be doing it one more time in December. We're not sure if the beginning of December or end of December. I think it might be nice to sort of end the new year and this year and come into the new year with a Cal. We're not sure yet. We haven't worked out the details, but believe me, I will keep you posted. And the feel was, when we decided to do it, was Labor Day weekend. Families were getting ready to go back to school. People were going back to work in person in their offices. So there was a lot going on, and some people couldn't finish. They didn't finish. They didn't get a chance to start, or they started and maybe got this much of their socks done. And JulieAnn and I really, really wanted to stress, and we took it as a teaching moment, as a learning moment. We really wanted to stress the goal of this Cal, of the 1 week sock challenge, is to challenge yourself, is to see if you can complete a pair of socks in a week. And with so many people not being able to reach that goal for themselves, we really wanted to stress, that's okay. It's okay. It's really okay. I don't even think JulieAnn finished her pair. I just got mine done. Like the night before. So it's okay to not finish. It's really okay to not finish. There's no rush. There's no race. I say this all the time in my tutorials. There is no race. Just enjoy the process. I say that all the time. So yeah, that was a really important lesson for us to stress to people, and for people to realize was okay. It's okay to not finish. So yeah. Was good. And what else is going on? So I decided this was a great opportunity if you didn't finish your socks and I might have had this in the works, in a plan. If you didn't finish your socks for the 1 week sock challenge, you can just move right into the Falling Leaves Sock Cal, and that started on September 1st. So many people did that. They had their fall theme socks, whether it was a pattern or texture or a design or a colorway that you were using. A lot of people cast on more fall-y field socks and just moved right into the Falling Leaf Sock Cal if they didn't finish, and it was great. So many people are participating in that. To those of you out there that have joined in, thank you so much. We're having such a great time. So just a couple of details. Falling Leaf Sock Cal, it is happening exclusively on Instagram, and I've talked about the reasons for that, but I'm happy to share them again. I used to do it as a thread, a chatter thread. That's the word I couldn't think of. A chatter thread on Ravelry, and then an FO thread. And it really just became too much to manage. And the moderator that I had in Ravelry has moved on for personal reasons. She just can't manage it anymore. And that absolutely no problem. But the reason she was there is because it wasn't something I could manage. So now that she's gone, the group is still there. All of the references and the patterns and the old chats are still there. But the group is very quiet right now. And that's really working well because a lot of people are over on Instagram, and that is where the cal is happening. So everyone's knitting and sharing under the one umbrella of the hashtag Falling Leaf Sock Cal 2021. And I can see everyone's progress. People are tagging me. It's wonderful. And oh my goodness, all of the socks that people are making. It's really, really fun between the patterns they're using and the yarn that they're using. I may have gone shopping just a little bit. And I know you're all saying sorry, not sorry, which is what I would say. So that's been really fun to watch everyone's progress. And I can go through the hashtag and find everybody's finished socks, and I'll just be pulling a winner once a month from the hashtag. And you can knit with any weight yarn, any pattern, any length sock. Shorties are welcome, full length socks, knee highs if you're adventurous. And as long as the color, the only detail, if you want to call it that, or requirement, is that whatever you are creating have a fall theme. And that doesn't necessarily mean only rust oranges and golds and yellows. Anything relating to Halloween, if you're moving on to Thanksgiving, the cal goes from September 1st to November 1st. But if you want to get some Thanksgiving socks going in there, jump right on in. It's all welcome. It's all good. So that's been really fun. And again, you can use whatever, again, colors within the range, texture, style, pattern, anything like that. If it says fall to you, it will say fall to me. So go for it and have a great time. I hope you'll be joining in. I'm having a really good time with it, and I'll show you some of my fall socks. I think I have 1, 2, 3 pair, 1 finished pair, and 2 whips to share with you. So we'll get to those in a minute. Looking down at my notes again. Yeah, what else? So, okay. Just took a breath there for a moment. I want to take a moment to pause and say hello to Sarah, who is Sarah Taylor Made. I want to make sure I got that right. Sarah Taylor Made on Instagram. And she sent me a message a couple of weeks ago, just reaching out and saying hello and how inspired she has been by my account and my YouTube channel and just following along on my making journey. And she mentioned me. She just started a podcast on YouTube. Please go and check her out. She has this, I was instantly drawn between her message to me, which was so warm, and I could almost hear a voice behind the message. And that doesn't always happen. It's just sometimes words that I'm reading. But I really heard this warm voice behind the message. And I checked out her podcast, and she mentioned me in her first episode. And it touched me. It really, really did. And I just want to say, when you reach a certain point in social media, people reach out to you for various reasons. And I've had a lot of people reaching out to me lately to that they want to send me yarn, and they want to send me patterns, and they're inviting me to knit their patterns and showcase their yarn on my podcast and promote them, basically. And I'm happy to do that. I will talk to death about a yarn that I am in love with and that I'm using, a new to me dyer, a new to me designer, and I'm happy to do that. But when the sole purpose of the message or the exchange is to just promote them, and they've sort of come out of the blue, that feels uncomfortable. And I really want to take a minute to talk about that, because it feels uncomfortable. And I don't being a person who likes to please and aims to please, it is very difficult to say that I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm happy to mention you, but I don't want to be bought by receiving yarn or anything like that. So I just felt like I needed to say that. And there was something about Sarah's message and that was so genuine. And I want to come here and talk about her today and talk about this that's been on my mind. So Sarah, if you're watching, hello, your podcast is wonderful. She has chosen to live sort of off the grid, and her lifestyle is so inspirational, and what she's doing and what she's working toward is so motivational and inspirational that I just wanted to talk about her here for a little bit. And if you have a chance to go and check her out, her podcast is the Tailor Made podcast. I will link to it down below. When you reach out and you are true and you are genuine, and it's not about just paying compliments, but when you just feel the need to share what you're doing, and it's all about the journey for you, I am there for all of it. I am there 150% for it. When it's, I'm a new designer, I'm a new dyer, and your numbers could really boost my sales, that doesn't feel good. It just doesn't. So just wanted to take a moment and say that. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I just feel the need to be really honest, and I've been working on boundaries and working on balance, and it's made me feel unbalanced. So by talking about it, my balance is restored. I feel unburdened, and I just wanted to share that. So moving on. Sarah, again, you're doing an amazing job. I think you're awesome. So thank you so much. Let's move on, you guys. So 20 minutes of me chitty-chatting. Just some things I wanted to talk about and vent with. But let's look at some knitting. Because this is always the best part, my favorite part. So I do have one FO, as I said before, I have one FO to share, and there they are. These were my 1 week sock challenge socks, which moved right into being my first completed pair for the Falling Leaf Sock Cal. And I don't really think they could be more perfect in terms of the color. Oh my gosh, I just love these so very much. These are, I'm sorry, I think people are, I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background. Sorry about that. I think people are just, it's the season and people are mowing and it just happens. So I apologize for background noise. But these socks, like I said, are my first completed pair for the Falling Leaf Sock Cal, and I love them. So let's talk about this yarn. This yarn is, this was a gift from my amazing cousin, Alex. Hi, sweetie. I love you. And she's living in London right now, and went into Loop Loves London. I think I've got the name of the shop right. I'll post it down below. And she went in there one day and was shopping and for me, and found this yarn and sent it. And this is, oh my gosh, I'll put it here on the screen. It's by Life in the Tall Grass. Oh, okay. I got it now. This is Lunasa is the name of the colorway, and it's by Life in the Tall Grass. This yarn is amazing. It's also a sport weight, which I haven't made socks with in years, and it went so fast. In the last episode, I had made a DK weight pair of socks, and DK has become like all the rage right now, just heavier weight socks. And this yarn, this is again a sport weight, so it's between a fingering. Oh my gosh, really? Oh, that's, hold on. I'm gonna close the window. Okay, is there a lawnmowers association that just knows intuitively when podcasters are going to be podcasting? It's so frustrating. I have closed the windows. I apologize if you can still hear it. I'll try to speak a little louder. So yes, Lunasa, which someone clarified this for me because I mentioned this in the either on Instagram. I think this is somewhere in a place or a festival in Ireland. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And sport weight yarn. So that's what I was saying. Sport. So it's a DK. It's fingering, DK, fingering, sport, DK. Take a breath. I'm going too fast. You have fingering weight, sport weight, and DK weight. This is a sport weight, and oh my gosh, so amazing. I have a book by Ann Budd called the Handy Book of Patterns, and which is basically a blueprint where she's plugged in numbers for every weight yarn, from fingering all the way up to super bulky for sweaters, for hats, mittens, and there is a section for socks. So I just looked in the book, found a sport weight, which was about 5.5, 6 stitches to the inch. I wrote down my numbers and I cast on, and here we go. And I did my usual beloved shadow wrap heel. I'm going to talk about this in just a sec. Socksploration, basically, still my pattern, so to speak, because I basically followed the same thing, 2x2 ribbing. I went up a little bit in the needle size. I think I used 2.5 for this, 2.5 millimeter or 3 millimeter. I'll add it to the show notes down below. But then I didn't have a sport weight mini skein, and I really did want to have a contrasting heel, so I held this double. This is my Cordovan by Malabrigo Sock. This is the brown shade that I really, really love. And I held it double, which is still a little bit thicker. Fingering double is usually, if you hold 2 strands of fingering together, it usually gives you closer to a DK weight, almost spot on to a DK weight, and this is a sport. So the heel itself is much thicker than, not much, but thicker than the rest of the sock, but it's so squishy and wonderful, and I think it's going to help with wearing, with lack of wear and tear on the heel once I wear them when the weather gets a little cooler. So yeah, here we go. And but I'm going to put in a video right here for you, just to explain a little bit more what I did in here with the heel. And as I've said before, the shadow wrap heel can be easily adapted for any weight yarn or any weight yarn you're using for socks. It's just you divide your heel into 3. I talk about that a lot more in the shadow wrap heel tutorial. I'll link that for you down below also. But that's what I did. I just divided my stitches by 3 and worked here, let's do this. You can see it a little better. And I worked the heel. So I'm going to pause and let you watch that little video. When holding 2 strands together and knitting the shadow wrap heel, be really careful to catch all of the strands. Usually with the twin stitches, you've got 2 stitches, and with the triple stitches, you have 3. But in this case, it's doubled. So you'll have 4 stitches for the twin and then 6 stitches for the triple. So you have to be really careful to catch all of those strands. I'm just going to do this on a purl side to show you what creating that looks like. So as you can see, just holding it double, I'm treating the 2 strands as 1 stitch. I'm knitting across. I'm almost there. 2 more. Okay, so I'm ready to create, ready to create my twin. So I'm going to grab those 2 strands. As you can see, there they are. I'm going to grab the 2. Oops, there we go. I'm going to pick up the strands here. Again, if you're holding this single, it's all 1 stitch or 1 strand, but you just have to be careful when doing it with 2 yarns held together. So I'm going to just wrap this around, bring it through. Now there are 4 strands, 2 actual stitches on the needle, and I really dig down deep in here and catch them both, and I do it slowly. I do it slowly because you definitely don't want to make the mistake of dropping a stitch. It will be very difficult to pick that up and figure out exactly where it goes. It may actually be more, or actually a little easier, if you ripped it out rather than trying to pick it up and figure out where that goes. So now I'm going to show you knitting into a twin stitch and then creating a triple stitch. So let's knit across together in my usual real time. And I'm almost to the other side. Okay, last single stitch. So now I'm ready to start with the triple stitches and come across the other half of the heel. So you knit in to those 4 strands. I'm going to open this up. So here's 2 for the first stitch. See if I can open these. There it is, 2 for the first stitch, 2 for the second. So you're going to knit those 2 together. Pick up the strand like you normally would for a shadow wrap. Okay, make sure you're catching just the right thing here. You're going to knit in here. Sorry for all the background noise, everyone. Knit in here and slide the stitch on. And then you turn. So I just wanted to let you see what that looked like while holding 2 strands together. Hope that was helpful. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about working the shadow wrap heel with 2 strands held together, because I've had some people ask about how do you fix a drop stitch? And I think I talked about this in the last episode. How do you fix a drop stitch? And it's not that easy to do. Usually I will rip back. I know people have a problem with that, but I will put a lifeline in so I don't drop my stitches all the way down. I will rip back or try to tink a row and fix it that way rather than just dropping down. Because as I said before, you're not dropping down straight. This is done on an angle. So the stitches are coming in this way, so you can't really drop down to fix it. If someone knows of a way to do that, please let me know. I have not discovered that yet. It's still a work in progress. So I just wanted to caution people if they're holding 2 strands together for this heel, how to make sure that you catch all the strands, because you're working with twin stitches and triple stitches when it's a single strand, but now you're working, the twin stitch is going to have 4 stitches and your triple stitch is going to have 6 strands. Does that make sense? Being careful to catch all of that is really, really important. So yeah, hence the little video. So yeah, those are my socks. That is my only FO. I do have a hoe though. I can't stand saying that. Why do I not like saying that? But I have a half finished object. That's better. And it's this. Oh, can we just look at that for 1 second? I love this sock so much. Oh my gosh. This is my No Fear Shorty sock pattern. And as I said in the very beginning of the year, I was doing a sock exploration and playing with heels and toes. I've gotten so many questions about using the shadow wrap heel as an afterthought heel. Here it is, everybody. Can you do it? Yes. Yes, you can. So here is my shorty sock pattern with a shadow wrap afterthought heel. So I have my other sock in progress, so it may be a little easier to see. So what I did here on this sock, I knit my cuff. I put in 2 markers to mark 2 stitches in from the edge just to mark my place, and continued knitting. Now, I like to put in my afterthought heels before finishing the sock. Why? Because when I'm going to do it sort of backwards. When I'm picking up the stitches with the needle above the marked row and below the marked round and below the marked round, I like to put my hand inside of the sock and then run my needle through. I just have a little bit more control holding it this way. I've tried to do it coming from underneath, and it just doesn't feel the same. So this is just me. It's personal preference. It's not a right way or a wrong way. It's just the way that I do it. So I usually knit a little past where I'm going to insert the heel. I insert my heel I have a separate set of needles. I put the heel in, finish, and then I keep going. Now, what I did with these two, I always knit, anytime I'm experimenting with a heel, I will knit the first one way and then knit the second another way, just to play with it, to see if I can tweak it, improve it, fix a mistake, anything like that. So what I did here, I don't know if you can see that there's a little pucker. I'm kind of flicking my finger over it. There's a tiny little pucker in there. It's only on the right side, the left side of the sock. It's not on the right side as much. And my theory is so you're keeping half the stitches live, you are working your shadow wrap heel and then grafting the stitches from the heel back onto the sock. When you're doing that, when you come across and you're finishing the Kitchener stitch, so you start the Kitchener on the right side, you work across and you finish on this side, you're going to have a triple stitch remaining on the left side of the sock. That triple stitch worked into the Kitchener is going to create a little extra bulk. Is it a problem? No. Is it a stress point? Possibly, but no more than any other afterthought heel intersection, no more so. And I have a feeling this will block out. I haven't blocked these yet, but I have a feeling that they'll block out once they've been washed. But I just decided on this one to try something a little different. And what I did here, let me see if I can grab this blocker. Hang on. Okay, let's see what I did here. Which way am I going? Here we go. Hang on. Okay. So on this one, what I did, there is the intersection again. And as you can see, it's not as pronounced. Okay, there's the left side. No, here's the left side, here's the right side. It's not as pronounced, that little bump on this side, because what I did with this one, instead of, as you're doing the first round or the first row of your twin stitches, instead of doing the twin stitch in the very last stitch and in the two end stitches, the first and the last, in this case, this is 32. So in the 31st, in the first and the 32nd stitch, I went in one on each side. So my twin was in the second stitch and then in the 31st. Does that make sense? What that did was it kept the end stitch as a single so that when I grafted together, there was a lot less bulk in the intersection because I had knit into that triple stitch. Gonna let that pause and sit there for a second. So that greatly eliminated the bulk. And I had talked about this when I did an afterthought toe. No, when I did a shadow wrap toe. And some people didn't understand what I meant by saying one stitch in from the edge. So that is what I meant. And what a big difference it made. It doesn't seem like a big difference. And again, I won't really know until I wear these. But aesthetically and just the feel of it, there's less bulk in that. In those two, ooh, I'm poking myself and hitting myself today. There's less bulk in that intersection and less pulling. So there you go. And I use Kirby Werby's tutorial for the afterthought heel. I've done a tutorial on my own incorporating her technique. And to me, in my experience, that one's really, really the best. You don't get any holes at the intersections. It's a smooth join and it works. So this is my FO. Let's put that back there. I'm loving these. I'm hoping to finish these. Today is Monday, the 20th. Hoping to finish these. The equinox is on a Wednesday. And I'd love to have these done by the end of today, maybe tomorrow, so I can post and share these and move on to another project for all of this yarn, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So there we go. So I did the socks version, and my other pair is just a regular Socksploration Shadow Wrap Heel sock, and I am using this yarn. This is the contrasting ball. Look at that. And this is, I have the heel in progress. Let's turn that carefully. And this is It's Fall. That's the name of this colorway. It's Fall by Sockturnal yarn. Oh my gosh. Just look at these colors. And I wanted a really long leg on this one. So I have two 50-gram balls. Let me see if I can grab the other one. Where is it? Here it is. So I separated the yarn. But here is the ball. There it is. So I have two of these. The other one I still have in the packaging. So there we go, two 50s. And I'm knitting away. So I did break the yarn, and I'm working the Shadow Wrap Heel, and then I will rejoin and continue going. And yes, somebody said, is there a way to do it where you don't have to break your main color? Yes, there is. There is a way to do it. I like to break my yarn. Just my way. I'm just doing it in a way that works and is comfortable for me. So yeah. So that is another work in progress. This little marker here, I am hoping to get these in the, can you see that? There's a bit of a glare. Oh, maybe there. And this says fall. Maybe I'm holding it upside down. This says fall is my favorite color. Wait, am I holding it right? Yeah, there we go. And it says fall is my favorite color. And I'm hoping to have some of these little progress keepers in the shop come next month, beginning of October. So stay tuned. I'm also going to try for a shop update. I wanted to do it earlier this month, but I was teaching for Vogue and getting the kids back to school, blah, 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 blah. So it will happen when it happens. So I did teach with Vogue. So those are all of my socks and my knitting. I did teach with Vogue the weekend of September 11th. So the kids started school on the 8th, and that weekend, the 11th and 12th, I taught with Vogue. I realized the morning of the 11th, actually the night before, that I hadn't really planned that out very well. I don't know that in hindsight, not sure if I would have taught on September 11th, but then again, it was sort of a respite. I can't think of a better word, but a temporary respite from the intensity of the day. So I was teaching. And my husband was a firefighter. I'm not going to recap the whole terrible story, but my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, was a firefighter then. So the day is very intense and meaningful for him. It is for our entire family. So we like to take some time and just sit with it together and talk about it and remember and do a lot of things that I know other families, other first responder families do to get through the day. So yeah, I taught and had family time, and the teaching was really great. I had taken the summer off from Vogue, and it felt really good to be back in front of the camera teaching again. Classes were amazing. If anybody out there watching was in one of the two classes, I did Sock Heels 101 and Sock Knitting Tips and Tricks. Thank you so much for signing up. I really had a great time. I think registration is open. I am teaching again in October, and I think registration is already open. So if you have a chance to go over and register, that would be wonderful. Again, I will link to everything down below. So yeah, I am teaching again, and that feels really, really good. So taught in September, definitely October. December and January I'm going to probably take off. More than likely I will teach in November as well. So we shall see. But I, again, will keep everybody posted and let you know what's happening. I think that covers it. One last thing to share. I have been looking for new ways to interact with you all, and while I'm not quite ready to take the Patreon leap yet, been thinking about that a lot more lately, but while I'm not quite ready to take that leap yet, I am going to be sharing a little bit more on my blog. I did put up a blog post about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be putting up another one this week. it's just another space to share my thoughts that may be a little less knitting specific or knitting related. There may be more sewing there, more home life, more behind the scenes, more cooking, baking, seasonal things that are happening, soap making, whatever moves me, whatever tickles my fancy on a day. I want to share a little bit more of that in that space. And the blog can be found on my website, which is earthtonesgirl.com. And I will link to that down below. So you can subscribe to be alerted when I put up a post. So let me know what you think. It's fun. I think the fall is for sure underway. We are 20 days into September. I have hung my little garland. I'm feeling the fall. It's a cool day. I'm wearing a very light sweater today, long sleeves, and it feels so nice outside. It was about 58 degrees this morning when I walked Nepo, and fall is in the air. It's in the air. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm looking forward to that moving inward that happens at this time of the year. Warmer foods, cozy nights, sweater season, sock season. All of these socks, I can actually wear them now. It's not going to be 90 plus degrees outside. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, everyone. I hope things, if you have children of school age and they're back, I hope it's been a smooth start. Fall officially begins on Wednesday, the 22nd. It's going to be, I'm hoping, good. Yeah, things are happening in the world. I get that. It's feeling a little scary again. But I'm going to be in this space, and I welcome you to join me, and we'll just take deep breaths together and make together and share together. So thank you so much for joining me today. Felt really good to be here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please leave your comments down below, and I will link to everything that I mentioned in this episode. Thanks so much, everybody. I will see you all again really soon. Bye, everyone. So I realized I signed off before talking about all of that beautiful yarn over there. Where was my head? Oh my gosh. So let's hold all these beauties. You know, I'm going to put the two little balls down for a second, but oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at all this beauty. I have decided to join a cow. Yay! I'm hosting one and decided to join one, the Monster Sock Cowl, that is being hosted on Instagram by Amy, who is Exterminate, and two other lovely ladies. I'll put all their names down here for you. They are hosting a Monster Sock Cowl, and the goal is to knit a full-size pair of socks using minis, and it's all scrappy socks. So they're scrappy socks, hence the name Monster Cowl. I believe the cowl runs from September 15th to October 15th. I will link to everything down below. And here are some minis that I'm going to be using. I'm so excited. These are all from Legacy Fiber Arts that I've accumulated over the years. This group is Fall Harvest, and that includes these two. So this is all Fall Harvest right here. And then I also have, this is Falling Leaves. Oh, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. That's Falling Leaves. This is Shrunken Heads. I think this is from the Beetlejuice collection from a year or so ago. And this one are two skeins that still had that fall look or feel, and this is A Christmas Story. Actually, I have this upside down. This is two minis left over from A Christmas Story that they also did a couple of years ago. So I think all of these together, I'm not going to try to hold the little ones, all of these together will make absolutely gorgeous scrappy socks. I have a hard time with scrappy socks, which is why I'm kind of psyched to participate in this. And I always get flustered with how to knit my scrappy socks. Do I, how many rounds to make? Will I have enough? But I definitely have plenty. So I'm not going to worry at all about running out of a color, trying to divide the color evenly so I have enough for both socks. I'm not going to worry about any of that. I am just going to wind these all up, and I'm going to put them in a beautiful basket and close my eyes, reach in. Great, this is what it is, and just start knitting or continue knitting. So I am really, really psyched to be using all of these beauties. Oh my gosh, look at that beauty. So if you get a chance, you can join that, Cal. You can double dip, poly dip, triple dip. Feel free if you are knitting scrappy socks. These all have a very fall feel to them. Use those for the falling leaf sock, Cal, or if you're in the falling leaves, you can go on to Monster. It doesn't matter. Have fun with your sock knitting. Yep, just wanted to share that really quick, so I popped right back on. Okay, I'm really saying goodbye now. Bye, everybody. See you next time.